Hey YouTube, this is Scott. Welcome to another video. And today we are making Afro Tech like Caiiro. So I'm gonna guide you through the full project. I'm gonna show you what I did and how I created some elements and how you can create the same. So I started with a spongy kick and I used these red ghost kick notes to function as a tom, and it sounds like this. Very simple, but very nice. Then I layered those ghost kick notes with a low tom, and it sounds like this. I also added some nice shaker loops. This is the first one. Second one. And the third one. And I also added this nice tambourine loop. And I added this nice tambourine shot and I added some reverb on it. And these are the settings. So very simple, very clean. Then some nice shaker shots and I layered these two. This is the first one. And this is the second one. And together they sound like this. So make sure when you making your percussion or your shakers yourself in the piano roll, use these little velocity knobs to create a more human vibe. If you don't do that, you get that robotic vibe and it doesn't sound good at all. So you must do that. But then, of course, Caiiro is the king of claps. And I layered some claps on top of each other. And I also added some reverb on it. This is the first one. Then the second one. But this is more like a low tom. Then the third one. This is more like a percussion tom. Then a nice clap. And then I got this very simple percussion sound. And this is what they sound all together. And as you can see at the bottom right here again, I adjusted the velocity knobs again to get that human vibe and to avoid that robotic vibe. So make sure you do that. Then I noticed in Caiiro's tracks that he used those like short vocal shots. And I pitched this down 700 cents. And I also put it at A sharp. And it sounds like this. Very simple, very clean. But it works all the time. Then I added this very nice plug sound. And this sound like this. So not that complicated. And then if you look at the FX, I added some distortion. You can just copy these settings if you want. I added some delay, some reverb, and an EQ. And we can also open up the cutoff if you want. But that's later for arrangement. Then I copied the plug sound. And I copied it to two bass sounds, a very low bass and a more like subby bass. Sounds like this. This is what they sound together. So very dark and already creating that Caiiro vibe. Then I added this very low and dark bass plug and it sounds like this. I layered this with two other sounds. This was the first one. This is the second one. And then we have the third one. And this is what they all sound together. So really strong Caiiro vibes already. Then I added this noise ambience sound to make the track more alive. It's just a little white noise. It's not that special. Then I also added this Atmos sounds, which I pitched down from C to A sharp. And I pitched this down 200 cents. It sounds like this. And I did the same for this one. And also the same for this one. And this is what they all sound together. So really dark and already a good vibe. Then I extracted these vocals from his unreleased track Shine And some people told me that these vocals are also on Splice, but I couldn't find them, so I extracted them and they sound like this.
Emotionally broken cause you were a liar. I used to play pretend that our love was a fire.
Then I added these nice FX sounds. This is the first one. And then just a riser and a downer like this. Then a lot of people ask me how I arrange my tracks. So what I always do when I use like this plucky sound like this is automate the cutoff. So it opens up towards a drop or a downer. So let me show you. When the line goes up, the cutoff opens and creates like a build up. I also made some automation clips for the volume of that bass plug I showed you earlier. And this sounds like this. And it's just the volume going up. It's nothing complicated, just the volume. And then I also created an automation clip for that woo sound, that vocal shot. And I noticed in Caiiro's tracks that he always has those long build-ups to keep the track interesting. So this is what it sounds like. Just again, the volume going up towards the drop. Nothing complicated. Then, again, I did the same for the shakers. Just the volume going up towards the drop. Getting louder and louder. So nothing special again. So the track is not that complicated. Very simple elements. And you'll notice when the track and all the elements come together, it will sound very great. So let's give it a listen and let me know what you think in the comments.
Emotionally broken cause you were a liar. I used to play pretend that our love was a fire.
So very slow build up towards a drop and building some tension.
Emotionally broken cause you were a liar. I used to play pretend that our love was a fire.
We're still building up.
Please let me ride. The moon is still high. It's time to let it shine. Please let me ride. The moon is still high.
So, as you can see, not all the claps are in it yet. Just some cut claps. And when we come here, we get all the claps and all the elements of the track. It sounds very great.
It's time to let it shine. Please let me ride. The moon is still high.
So that's it for this tutorial, guys. I hope this helped you out. If you like this, give me a like, subscribe and follow me on all my socials, and I'll see you guys later.